Alright, what's up my brothers? The title of this one is Girlfriend Introduced Me to a Guy That She Slept With. We're going to handle this from the angle of the subtle ways women disrespect men. Guys, welcome. If you're new to the channel, my name is Rich Cooper. I'm an entrepreneur, best-selling author, and relationship expert. Let's dive down the rabbit hole by reading this post and reacting to it. It says, I've been with my girlfriend for about 2 months, and about 2 weeks ago, she introduced me to one of her friends. And we all went out for a zoot, and he seemed like an all-right guy, so I had no issues with it or anything. Fast forward yesterday, he comes up in a conversation, and it's revealed that she slept with him on several occasions a couple years ago. And they had some history. She has left every single man that she got with to go back to him. And he puts this in brackets, though this hasn't happened to me and I'm confident it won't. The lies guys love telling themselves. I'll get to that in a second. And I found out that he still liked her and said he'd wait 20 years for her. He puts this in brackets. This happened at the start of our relationship, and I also didn't know this. He's just been in the background on her Snapchat the whole time. Well, I'll deal with Snapchat in a second. My girlfriend broke down in tears and said, I deserve better, and while they're done, or said nothing since I've been in the picture, she said she thought she told me everything and feels awful. She blocked him after this argument, so they had a recent argument they had at the same time yesterday over something different. However, she has done this a few times, and he's come back angry, and she's let him back into her life. Then he asks the questions, am I a mug for meeting him and not knowing? I have no issue with what's happened in the past before they knew me, but I don't know how I should feel about not knowing all of these things, as it feels disrespectful and I'm not sure. My friend, your intuition is speaking to you. Let me just check a couple of quick replies I saw here. In quotations, am I a mug? 10 out of 10 word selection. Kenny says she's left in quotation, she's left every other guy she's been with to go back to him, but I'm confident she won't do it to me. Clown world. Somebody else picked up on it as well. That's good. Well, there you have it, guys. I'm gonna hit the road and provide a little bit of feedback on this one. It's not unusual for guys to behave and respond this way to women because, let's be honest, I mean, most guys are plugged in beta males, as this guy is. Listen, one of the red flags that are in my chapter in my book, The Unplugged Alpha, is to never deal with a woman or to invite her into your life on a long-term basis if she keeps guys from her past around. A woman that keeps men from her past around are not to be taken seriously. They're just not. I know guys are going to continue to do it. People are going to do what they're going to do, but it's my advice and it's my position that if you're seeing a girl on a serious basis, for example, she said to you, hey, Rich, where do we stand? Where's this going? What are we? This, that, and the other thing. She should have no time in her schedule or her life to be hanging around with guys she was intimate with in the past, that she pined for, that she was in a relationship with. He was a fiance. She banged him 10 years ago, and it doesn't matter. Any guy from her past is a no-go zone. The way that you should generally handle something like that is when she asks you for your commitment. She says to you, hey, Rich, what are we? That's when you can tell her, hey, yo, I dig your vibe too, but I can't take a girl seriously that, you know, hangs around with her ex-fiance every couple months and has lunch or something like that. You know, that's the best position and time. That's the best timing, the best cadence, if I can put it that way, to deal with that. Now, let's deal with this guy's question, am I a mug for meeting a guy that she was sleeping with in the past? Well, you are, but it's really not your fault that she set it up. It's your fault now that you've learned that he and her had a past, that you would allow it, or say that, you know, I'm not really sure how I feel about this, maybe I'll let it slide, or maybe I won't, I'm not exactly sure. You're a mug in that scenario, right? You know, it's not your fault if she kind of set you up and left out information, because, you know, they know what's incriminating, they know what would look bad on them, so it's why they tend to leave out certain bits and pieces of information. That's fine. You know, you can't read minds, and you're not going to hook women up to a lie detector test before you get serious with them and grill them with a bunch of questions. It's just not, it's not practical. Although I know there's been many occasions where I've been like, yeah, that would have saved me a hell of a lot of time and heartache and headache. So it is what it is. But moving on from that, how should guys handle situations like this? You know, with a little bit of tact and poise. You know, guys, honestly, at the end of the day, if she's hanging around with guys from her past, there's probably more than just that red flag going on in her life. I'm assuming if she's hanging out with guys from her past, she probably also has a promiscuous past, which is another red flag on my list. If you haven't dove down the rabbit hole of the 21 red flag chapter out of my book, you can get it absolutely for free. Just go to the top pinned comment, it's pinned there, you just opt in my email list and grab it. If you want to get a little deeper than the rabbit hole than that and acquire more wisdom, the School of Unplugging is the place to be. That's where I leave all the information. Anyway, back to it. What should this guy do? It's really going to be dependent on what his options are. Most guys don't have that many options, so they end up sticking around or they'll tolerate bad behavior. My dad always used to say to me, you know, Richard, you're going to get out of life what you tolerate. So if you tolerate assholes, if you tolerate people that are abusive, if you tolerate people that are taking you for granted or abusing you in some way, shape, or form, you're just going to get more of it, because you're teaching them in some way or regard that that's the way that they should handle you. So you've got to set these boundaries, guys. You know, I say this often, and I get a lot of pushback from people, and you know, this is how you get disrespected as a guy when you let this kind of stuff slide. You know, you put your foot down. You just basically tell her, look, if you want to continue seeing me, like if you want to continue moving forward as a couple, I just don't have time, or I'm not going to take a woman seriously that is hanging out with guys from her past, or want to go out on social events or anything like that with guys that they used to bang. It's just not who I am, and it's not what I tolerate. So you just make a clear statement. It doesn't matter if she believes you or not. What matters is that you're going to do what you say you're going to do, which is probably dump her if she ever does something like that again. And you'll be in a good position to dump a woman that's taking you for granted and disrespecting you like this if you have other options, if you're not, you know, locked in to just this one sort of thing. I get that guys will commit very quickly. I get that guys will give up a lot of opportunities and options in their life for women that they like/love, because it's hard for men to say no to women that they like/love. I get it, but you have to be careful with your time. We are not living in our great-grandparents' era. We're not living in our grandparents' era where, you know, you get married and you have sex for the first time. Now it's you get married, or even you get into a relationship and you're supposed to stop having sex with other people, or that's what she should be doing anyway. But, you know, I digress. You know, she wants to hang out with some dude that she was porking a few years ago with you, and you allow that to happen. It's not your fault if she didn't tell you. It's your fault if you allow it to continue to happen and tolerate the bad behavior. Draw your boundary, point to it, aim her eyes at it, and say, this is my bottom line. If you cross that bottom line, I'm going to have nothing to do with you going forward. Make that very clear. That's how you handle it. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Check out the top pinned comments. See y'all later. Peace out.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.